those sentient beings will say to that one, "You have trained us in many crafts. Why aren't you not able to settle yourself?" He said this to them, "Friends, I am unable to settle myself now." At that, those sentient beings will lament and wail in various ways, just as, with no one else to blame, through the contributing cause of their own actions, the large group of relatives was killed for the aims of only that one person. So too, these sentient beings at their time of death will also lament and wail, and they will see themselves aiming towards rebirths as hell beings and animals on account of a non-virtuous friend. In the same way, I say to you Brahmins and heretical practitioners of other traditions, don't become haughty. It is as follows. To make an analogy, without having grown feathers and wings, a bird cannot fly into the sky to go to the world of the devils. In the same way, you cannot reach nirvana either, as you do not have that sort of supernatural power. If one should wonder why, it is because after one is born in a false rebirth through a type of karma, in no time at all, this body will disintegrate and die in the end. At the time of death, after they have lost their sense of taste, they will be thoroughly terrified, thinking, "Why do we hold on to this body? We have not experienced the happiness of the devil world or the happiness of the human world either. And we will not abide in the abode of nirvana either. Since we pointlessly held on to this body, what is our migration path? Who will be our support? Where will be our birth, and where will be our destruction?" Then the Blessed One said to those heretical practitioners of other traditions, wandering mendicants and naked ascetics, "Do not give up hope on this precious planet Earth. Do not become outsiders to the rare and excellent gem that is the Dharma. Friends, ask the Tathagata whatever you wish, and I will completely fulfill all your wishes." At that, all the Brahmins, heretical practitioners of other traditions, wandering mendicants, and naked ascetics arose from their seats, placed their upper robes over one shoulder, and with palms together asked the Blessed One, "Blessed One, although Tathagata have been releasing sentient beings from cyclic existence day and night, there is neither a decrease nor an increase in the realm of sentient beings. Blessed One, due to what cause and what condition do sentient beings display birth and cessation equally?" Then the Blessed One said to the Bodhisattva, the great being Vaishashasena, "In order to clear away great regrets and in order to set ablaze the lamp of the Dharma, the heretics put on great armor and ask a great series of questions. In the future, young and old sentient beings will understand birth and disintegration. Vaishashasena, there are also old sentient beings who, like young beings, do not know anything at all. Vaishashasena, it is as follows. To make an analogy, some person washed his hair, put on new clothes and went outside his home. People say to him, "You wear your new clothes well." But another person also washed his head and washed his old clothes, and because they were old, although he had washed his hair, that man was not beautiful. Just as his clothes were not beautiful, so by Shashasena, the old sentient beings that they are on the planet Earth are not beautiful. And the young sentient beings display birth and cessation. At that, the Brahmins and heretical practitioners of other traditions and all the wandering mendicants arose from their seats and said to the Blessed One, Blessed One, who among us is young, and who among us is old? The Blessed One said, Again and again you have experienced the feelings of hell beings, animals, and pretas, and yet you are still not satisfied. Therefore, you are all old. At that, all the Brahmins and all the Naga kings said to the Blessed One, We no longer delight in experiencing painful feelings in cyclic existence. The heretical practitioners of other traditions, wandering mendicants and naked ascetics say, Nevertheless, among the young sentient beings, there are none who are able to realize emptiness directly. They said this, and the Bodhisattva, the great being by Shashasena, said to the Blessed One, Blessed One, please look at this. Why is it so difficult for sentient beings to be motivated? The Blessed One said, by Shashasena, please listen. The Tathagata directly comprehends the entire world. At that, 94,000 million young beings were present before the Blessed One. They did not prostrate to the Blessed One, nor did they say a word. Then the Bodhisattva, the great being by Shashasena, said to the Blessed One, Blessed One, these sentient beings do not speak to the Blessed One. They are utterly silent and do not prostrate either. What is the reason that they do not ask any questions of the Blessed One? What is the condition? The Blessed One said, by Shashasena, listen. You should see that these sentient beings who say, the young sentient beings are not able to realize emptiness directly, are young sentient beings. And those sentient beings said, Venerable Blessed One, we are young sentient beings. Venerable Sanghata, we are young sentient beings. The Blessed One said, These sentient beings comprehend the world directly, but now display the measure of the world from your own bodies. At that time, at that moment, the 94,000 million young beings, without leaving their bodies, hovered in the middle of space and attained the 10 grounds. Then the Bodhisattva, the great being by Shashasena, said to the Blessed One, Such sentient beings who make an effort to completely exhaust and completely purify cyclic existence have well achieved their achievement. Blessed One, these sentient beings were born on this very day, and, Blessed One, on this very day these sentient beings were thoroughly liberated, and they were all seen to attain the 10 grounds. At that, the Brahmins and heretical practitioners of other traditions, wandering mendicants, naked ascetics, Naga kings, and the wicked Mara and his retinue all arrived for the purpose of deceiving, and said to the Blessed One, Blessed One, we have come here before the Tathagata, and now that we have heard this Dharmaparyaya, may we attain the sort of happiness of a Buddha. May we become just that sort of Tathagata, Arhat, perfect and complete Buddha in the world. The Blessed One said, Just so, gentlemen, regardless of how you have come to the Tathagata, since you have heard the Sanghata Dharmaparyaya, you have generated a mind of the unsurpassed, perfect and complete enlightenment. That being so, before long, you will all be fully and completely enlightened into the unsurpassed, perfect and complete enlightenment. As soon as the Blessed One had spoken these words, all those heretical practitioners of other traditions immediately attained the states of forbearance with respect to unproduced phenomena. They also all became bodhisattvas established on the 10 grounds, and thereupon all those bodhisattvas rose up into the air to a height of 7 palmyra trees and offered to the Tathagata towering palaces made of the 7 precious substances. They also all sustained various miraculous emanations and performed acts displaying supernatural powers. Then, abiding above the crown of the head of the Blessed One, they scattered beads of flowers on the Tathagata, and they all contemplated the Tathagata too. They also perceived their own bodies as Buddhas. Many hundreds of thousands of millions of Deva sons also scattered flowers on the Tathagata and spoke these words: "The ascetic Gautama is a great gain. He is a great field. He is a protector of the world. He has reached the attainment of meditative stabilization. He is a master whose aim is to produce other masters. Through skillful means, gradually, he completely releases sentient beings such as these from cyclic existence. With even just one well-spoken phrase, he completely frees so many sentient beings from cyclic existence." At that, the Bodhisattva, the great being Vaishashasena, arose from his seat, placed his upper robe over one shoulder, sat his right knee on the ground, and bowed with his palms together toward the Blessed One. He said to the Blessed One, "Blessed One, due to what cause and what condition do these children of the lineage issue forth these words, perform many acts displaying supernatural powers, and compose many praises of the Tathagata?" The Blessed One said, "Child of the lineage, listen, they are not praising me. Rather, they are praising their own bodies, and they will establish their own bodies as a holy seat of Dharma. They will emit light rays of Dharma from their bodies. All the Buddhas will support them, too, in order to awaken them fully and completely in the unsurpassed, perfect and complete enlightenment. And when they have become fully and completely enlightened, they will teach the Dharma." Then the Bodhisattva, the great being Vaishashasena, said this to the Blessed One: "The Tathagata, the Sugata, completely frees many sentient beings day and night, yet sentient beings still have not been depleted." The Blessed One said, "Vaishashasena, it is good, very good, that you have thought to question the Tathagata on this point. Vaishashasena, it is as follows. To make an analogy, there is some rich person with great wealth and property, possessing much wealth, grain, treasuries and granaries, and having many dependents, including male servants, female servants, and laborers. In addition to a large mass of wealth, he is in possession of many fields and gardens, such as those that have barley, wheat, rice, beans, lentils, and many other grains. after that person planted the seeds of all the grain in the springtime, at another season all those seeds would ripen fully. That man would place the various types of grain separately, and having stored them there, he would eat them through to springtime. And then again he would plant. In the same way, by Jajasena, sentient beings will also thoroughly deplete all the karma from previous actions, and then they will seek out fields of merit and produce roots of virtue. Having produced them, they will earnestly practice virtuous dharma, and having made all the dharmas increase, they will produce joy and contentment. By Jajasena, because of that joyful and contented mind, they will not go to waste for many thousands of millions of eons. By Jajasena, in the same way, a bodhisattva who has produced the initial thoughts of enlightenment will never be subject to waste. In short, they will realize all dharmas. He said, Blessed One, what sort of dreams will be seen by bodhisattvas who have produced the initial thought of enlightenment? The Blessed One said, by Jajasena, bodhisattvas who have produced the initial thought of enlightenment will see many fearful things in their dreams. If you should wonder why that is so, it is because they are purifying all their karma. Sentient beings with bad karma cannot eliminate their unbearable suffering. But the former, although seeing a bad dream, is not afraid. He said, Blessed One, in what way will fearful things be seen in the dreams of bodhisattvas who have produced the initial thoughts of enlightenment? The Blessed One said, by Jajasena, a fire will be seen blazing. At that, the bodhisattvas should know that all their delusions have been burned. Secondly, by Jajasena, although bodhisattvas who have produced the initial thoughts of enlightenment see water stirred up and greatly churning, they will not be afraid. If you should wonder why that is, by Jajasena, in this way all the bondage due to ignorance is cast aside, and what is bad is purified. Thirdly, by Jajasena, bodhisattvas who have produced the initial thought of enlightenment will see greatly fearful things in their dreams. He asked, Blessed One, what are they? The Blessed One said, although they see their head shaven, by Jajasena, they will not become frightened by that. If you should wonder why that is, they would think, my attachment, anger, and ignorance have been shaved off. I am victorious over cyclic existence with its 6 realms. Their place is not in the hell beings' realms either. It is not among animals or pretas. It is not among the asuras. It is not among the nagas. It is not among the devas. By Jajasena, bodhisattvas who have produced the initial thoughts of the enlightenment attain birth in the perfectly pure Buddha fields. By Jajasena, in the future, at a time to come, if any sentient beings dedicates their mind to enlightenment, on account of that, they should be seen as having great commitment. By Jajasena, although they encounter contempt, they should not be disheartened, nor should they be discouraged. By Jajasena, many are the dharmas I have taught. By Jajasena, for some hundreds of thousands of myriad millions of eons, I engaged in arduous activities. But that engagement in arduous activities was not for the sake of wealth. it was not in order to enjoy a livelihood. It was not in order to enjoy power. By Shashasena, I engaged in all those activities in order to comprehend the nature of phenomena. But until the moment that I heard the Sanghata Dharmaparyaya, I did not attain unsurpassed, perfect and complete enlightenment. But by Shashasena, on the very day I heard it, I was entirely, completely enlightened into unsurpassed, perfect and complete enlightenment. By Shashasena, this Dharmaparyaya is profound. Hearing this Dharmaparyaya is rare. By Shashasena, the arising of Tathagata is also supremely rare. By Shashasena, those who uphold this Dharmaparyaya are also supremely rare. All those who hear this Dharmaparyaya will be fully and completely enlightened in unsurpassed, perfect and complete enlightenment. By Shashasena, for 1,000 eons, they will overcome cyclic existence. They will attain the perfectly pure Buddha field. They will also thoroughly understand cessation and the path. They will be well suited to thoroughly know the source. They will be well suited to thoroughly know the place of virtue. They will be well suited to directly know and thoroughly know the place of virtue. They will be well suited to thoroughly know the place of virtue and to thoroughly know cessation. By Shashasena, why is it called cessation? He said, Blessed One, the meaning is that it is a place of Dharma.